You don't have a business problem, you have a self-image problem. See, most entrepreneurs focus on external strategy, better marketing, more clients, better sales, better hiring. Those things matter, but at a certain level, they're no longer the bottleneck. You are. Not your effort, not your intent, your identity, your self-image. Because how you see yourself determines how you're going to think, and how you think determines how you decide, and your decisions determine your results. I operated for years with what I would call a hustler identity. Hustle mentality. That was my image. I took pride in being the hardest worker in the room, the one solving all the problems, the one staying late, one in the middle of everything, working late every night, working every weekend. And that works in the beginning. It's often necessary to survive and to thrive at the very beginning, but over time it becomes the very thing that limits you. Because if your identity is tied to doing everything yourself or hustling or being the hardest working person, you're going to resist anything that removes you from the center of that. You're going to hold on to decisions longer than you should. You get afraid that someone can't do it as well as you, and so you become the bottleneck. You stay involved in areas you've already outgrown. Not because it's strategic, but because it feels like you're losing part of who you are. And that's where growth slows. For me, the shift came when I redefined leadership. I stopped asking, how do I get this done? And started asking, what does the next level version of me do here? What does the $100 or $200 million CEO do here? That question forces a higher standard. Because $1 million operator and $100 million CEO do not think the same way. They don't spend time the same way. They do not make decisions the same way. They don't define value the same way. They don't provide the same kind of customer service. If you keep operating from your current identity, you're going to keep producing results that match it. So this is where most people get stuck. They set bigger goals without becoming a different person. Goals don't create change. Identity does. Sometimes goals can cause your identity to change, but you got to be intentional. You can say what you want to say to scale, but if your identity is still tied to control, comfort, or being needed, your behavior contradicts your goals and you're not going to reach your goals. You'll default to what feels familiar. That's why growth feels so uncomfortable. You're not just changing what you do, you're changing who you are. And that makes a lot of people feel very uncomfortable. It requires discipline. You have to catch yourself in real time and ask, is this a decision that's aligned with where I'm going or where I have been? Because every decision reinforces something. You get little feedback loops. Feedback loops of positive, feedback loops of negative. It either reinforces your current identity or it builds your future one. And those decisions compound. There's also cost most people ignore. If your identity does not evolve, your business will force it. You will experience repeated bottlenecks, the same problems keep showing up, growth stalls at predictable levels. Not because the strategy is wrong, but because the leader has not changed. The leader has not grown. Your business will only grow to the level of your identity. Be intentional about that identity. If you want a different outcome, you have to be a different operator, a different leader, more disciplined, more detached from ego, more focused on building instead of doing, more focused on systems and processes. This is not about abandoning who you are. It's about refining it, removing what no longer serves the mission and strengthening what does, and giving yourself positive feedback loops. When you do something good that's different than what you did before that has success, congratulate yourself every day. Your business doesn't suddenly jump to the next level. It follows you. And until your identity shifts, your results will stay the same.